Well, anyway, Sam, this is part three. So anyway, the school psychologist who was Filipino, Ben Napili, he favored and ruled in my favor and was on my side. I finally found a psychologist that was actually on my side. And so I gave them all meticulous information. Mrs. Calgary was the transition program, so was Cynthia True. And I gave them all the information about my previous school psychologist and the schools, the teachers, and all the information I needed. Well, they were going to set up a staff meeting with special ed teachers about replacing me into another program, which means going into regular school. They had me wait in the office. They said they'd be right back. They'd make some phone calls. They left my high school, my elementary high school cume folder on the desk. I went ahead and I sneaked and looked at every one of my records. They were gone on I waited for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I went ahead and sneaked and made copies and took notes of the records. So finally they decided to test me, and my mom was in Iowa visiting my sister, so they were waiting for my mom to come back. Well, went ahead, my school psychologist went ahead at Grossmont High School Special Ed program, tested me, gave me the Wechsler Intelligence Scale for Children. He gave me the Wide Range Achievement Test. He gave me the Mr. Peabody Act test and many other psychological tests. And so his conclusion was that I should go to a regular school program on a probation basis. Well, you know me, I wasn't going to tolerate that. I am going to stay at regular school. I'm not going to go on a probation and go back to special ed. So anyway, he felt that I was misplaced. He felt I needed to go to regular classes, so he scheduled me to go to regular classes within a certain length of time. So told my parents the good news. I had a lot of support from my friends in the neighborhood and my school friends and close friends and family. I had a lot of support. Then I decided to do this. I went ahead. Now, this, mind you not, I was a juvenile. I could have gone in trouble in juvenile hall. This was back in 1972. Okay, mind you not, things were different. I was a minor at 14. I went ahead and went, and I became my own little spy. I wanted to know what, how, who, and where, and why. What makes psychologists tick to put kids in special ed. I felt I was misplaced. I wanted justice. Well, in my own motive, I decided to go ahead, and I sneaked and went into the psychologist's office, got into my records, stole the records, made copies, took notes. Out of the notes that I did, I would type everything in form, but I took all the information. I even went into the school psychologist and took the tests, the textbooks, went into his briefcase, took all the materials, took all my school records, and studied all this stuff. How did I get in the office? Back in 1972, as a 14-year-old, I was very charming. My charisma. I would give the ladies donuts and coffee and flowers, and I would say, I need to write a note for my psychologist. They would let me go back in his office and write a note. And I did this like for a whole month. I went in his office and I stole stuff. Well, I finally went to one of my friends, school friends, invited me over for dinner. I told him that the secret way to get out of special ed. Well, he told his mom, and then his mom, of course, called my mom. So anyway, I went to his house. We had dinner. We played basketball. And we visited. And then I had all my materials with me, the test materials, and I wanted to show him how the system works and what they do. They do profiles of experiencing children to get in, be in special ed. Well, anyway, I told him the secrets of how I got out. He told his mom. Of course, his mom told my mom. Well, I had dinner and had a good time, and then I left, and they gave me a ride home, and then my parents were waiting for me. And then my dad, of course, and I had a tug-of-war. He wanted to know why are my folders so full, my notebook, with all those papers. We had a tug-of-war. All the papers, finally fell, and all the records and all the tests and everything I had fell on the floor. Well, my dad saw exactly what I stole, and I told him how I felt. That I felt he was never on my side. I resented that, and I told him how I felt. And my dad, of course, telling me as a minor, now why would a father say this? Well, my father told me, if you're a man, you'll be honest and tell the school psychologist what you did. I'll leave that up to you, but I think you'll be a man if you do that. Well, I'm not here. I'm a minor, and he's telling me I think make you more of a man if you be honest. Well, I went ahead and I did tell the school psychologist by my choice. You know what? I didn't get in trouble. I didn't go to juvenile hall. I didn't go to jail. I didn't get suspended from school. The school psychologist knew all along what I was doing. But he appreciated my honesty and he respected me for being honest and he didn't blame me for the resentments and why I did what I needed to do to prove my point as a revolutionist. Now, when I went to regular school, and got out of special ed, I succeedingly did well, and I stayed in my regular classes for 4 years and graduated Santana High School in Santee in 1976. I made reconciliation with my first grade teacher that flunked me. I came back and I went to visit her